Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the Love 500, and welcome back to the car that has been named by you as Project Ryvita. For a start, we have the registration number, RVT, and of course the colour is the colour of a Ryvita, isn't it? So, welcome to day one on the repair of Project Ryvita. Let's go. So I've just been over to the sister-in-law's. I've swapped over the white car with this one. The white car failed its MOT, which we'll be covering on the video on the other car. Due to the time constraints and me trying to get this done and get this moving, I decided to get the mechanic to do the things that are wrong with that, the reason that it failed the MOT, and it's also got a very squeaky clutch all of a sudden, which wasn't doing it when I went down to the MOT, but was doing it when it came back. So I think the fact that I've driven it a little bit, yeah, the clutch slave cylinder needs replacing, which I was going to just do myself and have a go myself. Knowing how rusty they can get, I decided, you know what, he's going to come and do the other bits and pieces. So he's not doing that till next Monday. So I thought I'd swap it over for the week. I'll bring this one over and get started on this. So on driving it over, drives all right, but on driving it over, I noticed a clunk. As you take your foot off the accelerator, it clunks. Now, I don't know if that's anything to do with suspension, or it could be the exhaust. It's coming from the front, can't identify where from the front. It doesn't do it all the time, but it's generally, not when you put your foot down, but when you take your foot off, generally. So I will obviously have to investigate that a little bit later on during the repair of this. Now, there is actually quite a lot to do on this car. We've got the door handle, we've got the speedo. It's absolutely rotten inside. The seats are going to have to come out, they're going to have to be cleaned, they're going to have to shampoo the carpets. That's before I start on any of the other stuff. So as you know, just a quick recap, because it's been 2 or 3 weeks since we did the walk around on this. We've got broken bumper tabs, both sides, which is why the bumper is hanging out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to repair those, which is a bit of a nuisance. I have been looking to see if I could get a new bumper in colour. There isn't anything. Same goes for the bonnet. Those rusty marks have got to be sorted out. Again, nothing. I was trying to see if I could get a bonnet. There aren't any. There's a few bits of paint that need touching up. We've got that bit of a, that's not too bad. I can certainly do that myself, not a problem. Door handle, we've got these to do. I might have a go at those. If not, I might get the painter's dent guy over, see if he can do them for me. Engine wise, it's a little bit, not rough running, but I think full service. I'm going to change the spark plugs on this case. Don't normally do that, but just because it doesn't seem to be running perfectly, I'm going to change them. Because in the past when it's been like that, I've changed them and it's all been fine after that. So apart from that, we haven't checked the brakes, I don't think yet. We haven't taken the wheels off of it yet, I don't think. No, all we done was a walk around, wasn't it? So it just generally needs a tidy up, new door handle. As far as we know, the hatch wiring's all okay. Oh, the stereo faceplate, so that's got to be changed. So I'm going to start today. The first thing I'm going to do, I was going to start with the bumper, but I think the first thing I'm going to do is start on the inside. So today I am going to change the speedo. I'm going to change, now what I've got, let me show you. Don't think I've already shown you this. Can't get into the boot now, so that's where I've had it battery disconnected. Let me just lock it and unlock it. Now the boot will open. So remember the car that I got mirror as well, got a new mirror in colour. Hey, remember the car that I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, the stereo. Remember the car that had all the paint thrown in it? The Sport. The metallic blue Sport. Well, that car, I had a stereo front which was covered in paint. But what I've done is I took the front off and then I've taken out the LCD panel, which I've cleaned up. There are a couple of little specks of paint still, but apart from that, there's a little bit on the back there. Don't think I need to worry about that. All you've got to do is take the thing apart, take the front, take the stereo out, take the front off, and then you can take the front apart, and then that just plugs in. And I'm hoping that'll work. If it don't, I'll get a new stereo. Door handle, I'll do that today as well. So I'm going to get stuck in now. I'm going to set you up. Let's get the speedo done first. Let's do it. Right, that didn't take long. You may have noticed in the time lapse, I bought this some time ago. It's a T10, and it's nice and long. So when you're getting into those screws there, it's a lot easier, much easier using that. So I've put the new one in. You might have noticed the little knobs are missing off of there, but we just take the ones off the other one. I just want to test this one. I've got two, I say new ones. I've got two replacement ones. I bought some time ago. I have no idea what mileage they're showing. I think they were both relatively low, but I can't remember whether can't even remember what this has done now. I need to look back at my previous video. Well, obviously I'll be logging onto the ECU to adjust it anyway. Whether I do it with multi-ECU scan going up, or whether I use my new tool, my X Pro, to make it go down, I can't remember. So let's start it up. So I'm hoping, obviously I've never tried this speedo before, so I don't actually know. I bought it on eBay. I don't actually know whether it works properly or not. So let's try it. Well, that's a good start. 62,000. So we're going to have to go down on this, aren't we? Rather than up. Let's turn the heater off. So what we need to do, it's got the flashing. It's 40. So this is one I bought, which is bloody 40. Can you believe it? Can you see the lights flashing? You got that there. And you got that there. So I took a bit of a chance. I can't remember what I paid for this, but I took a bit of a chance that it would be okay, and it's not. So that's just bloody typical, isn't it? How frustrating. Well, it does show we got our half a tank of petrol. Oh, it also shows we have, I suppose I have driven it from my sister-in-law's, but it's showing that it's up to temperature, which I'm not convinced. I mean, I only driven back there 10-15 minutes ago. Yeah, maybe 15 minutes ago, but I didn't expect it to show up to temperature still. So we might have a 40 temperature sensor, which means this will need a new thermostat as well. It's starting to build up, isn't it, on this car? It's a very scruffy car, I have to say. I'm hoping my magic will be enough to work on it. But so we are going to have to try the other speedo now. It's really frustrating. Really frustrating. I mean, these are so expensive to get repaired, it's just not worth repairing them. But I'll tell you what I will do. I mean, we know which one. It's the ABS light and the water temperature light that's 40. I am going to take it apart and I am going to have a look and see if I can see where these, because it's just dry joints, isn't it? See if I can see where it is and see if I can fix it. I think it's unlikely, but you never know. But that's frustrating. So, you know, I probably paid around £100 for Mark for that. And it's a 40 one. The other one is still in the box. I've never unpacked it. We'll try that one. I hope that one works. We'll see. The one I took out has also got that fault on it as well, so I can't even swap the screens over, which they're not always compatible anyway. But yeah, that's frustrating. Okay, anyway, it is what it is. Let's turn it off. We'll get the other one out, connect that one up, and then we'll try it again. Bear with. Right, here we are. That's the next one in. Let's try this one. This has got white knobs on it. This is it must be different, this one, slightly, because I think the display's in a slightly different position. I think these are in a slightly different position. Indicate. That's doing it as well. Oh, you're having a laugh. It's doing it on the temperature. Can you believe this? I bought two and they're both crap. Just about see it. Well, this is the better one of the two. What was the mileage on this one? I didn't notice. Oh, yeah, the mileage is in a different place on this one. 57,000 this one. So we might be, I don't know what we're going to do now. I'll see if I've got another one. Seeing as I've got this out, I might as well try others as well, see what I've got. If it's a matter of, if I've got one that I'm just going to put the original one back in and try that, because I'm pretty certain that we've got the flashing bit on that one as well. This is so frustrating. It's the last time I buy a Speedo without being able to test it when I receive it, because I can't send these back now. I've had them for months. Frustrating or what? I think it's actually okay. So I might try swapping over the LCD at one of the others. I can't see any lights flicking. That airbag light does look on, just there, very, very slightly. It's still on. I wonder if it's one of those things where it stays on for a little while. I'm sure it's on. It looks like it's on. Comes up. Goes out. Or maybe not. Maybe it's my imagination. I'm going to see if I've got one that will fit, because they're not always compatible. So I'm gonna have a fiddle around with some of the others that I've got, take it apart, see if I can get it to work. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's on or not. Tell you what, I'm just gonna watch it. I'm gonna switch it off, and then see if it completely disappears. To my mind, it looks like it's very, very slightly illuminated. But yeah, I think it just went out. This one, I put a label on the back of this saying LCD broke, but it's the black surround, so it's a different one. Have I got any other black surround ones here? So we know we've got an LCD broke, but there's nothing of any issue with the when you indicate. It's just the LCD. So what I might do is I might take this one apart and try swapping over some LCDs. I've got some various box loads of the damn things here. I'm not sure if we got, because they do seem to vary, the LCDs, depending on which one it is. Yeah, there's several in the bottom of that box. What's in that envelope? Screws. I think we're going to try it, and then we'll come back, see if we can get one to work in its entirety. Right, that seems to work. There's no flashing lights that shouldn't be. Everything seems to come on that should. It's got the mileage in the same place as the original one, which is at the top, and it's only 25,000 miles as well. So yeah. So that was one that I had that said that the LCD was okay. Flash, yeah, that works. City steering works. Tried that one. Fog lights. Turn the lights on. Fog light comes up. What else is there that should come up? Start stop. Yep, start stop comes up. Yeah, everything on there seems to work. That's brilliant. So I should be able to put that back together. I'll just give the screen a clean because it had a bit of tape on it. It actually said LCD broke, so I don't know why I had LCD. I think I must have got mixed up, because on the back of that it had written on it that it was okay. Yeah, that's good. Oh, I mean, look at all this. Oh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. But at least on the two that I have got. I'm not sure which was the one that came out of the car now. It was that one, wasn't it? At least the two that I have got, I know that they're faulty, and I know what the problem is, so I'm going to put a label on them. But at least I know they've got good LCDs, so should I ever get another one with a broken LCD, at the very least I can use that out, so they're not completely wasted. So I just need to change the knobs over as well, because that hasn't got any knobs on it at all. I need to put the black ones on, which I'll take out the original, and then we'll put it all back together and install it. That's good. And then obviously we can use multi-ECU scan to increase the mileage on that one, as it's only 25,000 on this Speedo. Great stuff. We got there in the end. Right, let's put it all back together. Right, so as you can see, I've got the speedo back in. Seems all okay. I'm going to leave the cowlings off for the time being. So we've got that off. I'm going to get the stereo out, disconnect the stereo, and we'll take it to the back of the car, and we'll take it all apart and see if we can replace the screen and get it working again. Okay, let's do it. These are always, or often, I say always, often challenging to get out. Done. How easy was that? Mind you, it does help when that's off, because if it doesn't come out straight away, you can tease it out by getting your fingers behind it, but that came out really easy. And don't forget, there is the issue of if you push them in too far, it goes past the bit where it releases it and it springs it back in again. So we need to undo aerial. Oh, itchy nose. Undo these. It's always challenging to get out as well. There we go. Right, okay, so what we need to do is we need to take the bracket off. So I don't know if you can actually, but let's go to the back of the car and we'll do it there. I'm going to try and do this as best I can in full view so you can see what I'm doing. So we take off the brackets. So remove the screw. Remove the bracket. Same on the other side. Remove the screw. Remove the bracket, and now that will just pull off like that. And then what we need to do is take this apart. Now we've got really, really tiny screws on this. I think they're tiny little Torx. Let me just find the right screwdriver, and then we'll see if we can show you doing it. Right, so we got tiny, tiny little screws. It doesn't actually say on this little screwdriver as to what size it is, but if I can focus on it, you can see it's a tiny, tiny little Torx. So I need to undo those. Trying to prise it off, and then I remembered underneath there are more screws. That's why it wouldn't come out. I was trying not to force it, and then I remembered. If you can see what I'm doing, yeah. Under there, there we go. More screws, both sides. That's why I couldn't get it off. Right, so we'll just undo that. Where's my little screwdriver gone? There it is. Oops. Yeah, so once we can undo these ones, it just pops off. Now you don't want to turn it up that way because your knobs will all fall out, and you don't want your knobs falling out. Excuse the noise over the road. One of my neighbours across the road is just starting to have a loft extension done, so I'm afraid we're going to have to put up with that noise when we're filming. And I'm sure the noise is going to get a lot worse. It's literally started. This is only day 2 of it, so there's a lot more to come. Right, we need to get these screws out like we did the last ones, but I think tapping it on there, one's come out, other one's got to come out a bit more. There we go. Right, now, as I say, we leave that up that way, and that will just lift off of there. And then we lift off the circuit board. Am I getting this in? Yep. Lift off the circuit board carefully, like so, and that's it. And then we swap over with the other circuit board. We put that one in its place. So I think what we're going to do, there's some little hook things here. I'm going to take them out. Not sure where they. Yeah, I see how they slip in. So we'll slip. Oh no, which one was the good one? I'm not sure which one's which now. I'm going to play my video back and see which one's which. The bloody idiot. Oh, it was the one with a little bit of paint on it, wasn't it? It's this one. Oh dear, that was funny. That wasn't actually. Right. And we put those little things in there just to hold it in position. Like that. And that one in there just to hold it in position. Like that. Somehow. Like that. There you go. And then we place this back over the top and screw it all back together again. Right, so we don't actually have to install it back in. All we need to do is plug it back in. So this circuit board came out of about the same year, 2014 I think it was, 2013-14. So it should be the same. I'm assuming it came out of a Bosch. Obviously some of the earlier ones are punt. I think it's the earlier ones that are punt. And so that needs to plug into there. Put it in the right way. Helps. Am I getting it in the wrong way now? I don't know. They only go in one way, obviously. Can't get it in. Why can't I get it in? Come on, you stupid thing. I wish they'd make these wires a little bit longer. It would make life a lot easier. Oh, come on. Talk amongst yourselves. It won't go in. Why won't it go in? Am I trying to get it in the wrong way? Maybe I am. No, I was. Dickhead. Right. Okay, aerial in. Now, we just push that back in. Not all the way, but we'll try it. Now we switch on. I may have to mute it because it depends what comes up, if anything. Right, let's do it. Turn the indicator off. Now I may have to switch it on. Oh, it came up with Fiat then, and then it went out. Oh. Okay, maybe it's not that then. Oh, okay. Maybe it's not. Well, I thought this was out of a pop, but it does appear to have the pins. These pins, let me show you. That top one, which the pops don't normally have. So unless I actually sold the other one rather than this one, I don't know. But we'll try it. I'm probably going to have to mute this because it might come up with music. But hopefully we'll get a display. Yes. That's good. Oh, it's asking for a code. Oh, balls. I've got the code somewhere. Yeah, I've got the code for this, so I just need to find it. But that means I know it works. So what we'll do is we'll swap the black over with the cream, and then that should work. Unfortunately, I cannot find... Oh, my mileage is flashing. Why is that then? Oh, probably because this isn't connected. I cannot find the code. I had a bit on. I'm sure I had it on a bit of paper, and it's not there. And I've looked back at the Fiat forum, and I can't find the one for this. I found an old one, and I entered it, and it locked the radio. So it's locked it for a little while. And now it's saying enter code again, so I think it's going to be okay. It's going to work, but I wanted, before I pushed it right back in properly, I wanted to make sure that the blue and me and everything's going to work. So I've just requested on my iPad on the Fiat forum. So with the Fiat forum, that's fiatforum.com, you have to be a Patreon member, i.e. you have to have made a donation. I've given parts away on there to people, but I've also, all I donated was a £5 a few years ago, and because of that, you are then given as many codes as you like. So yeah, that's the best way to do it, especially if you're doing more than one. So I'll have to leave this for the time being until such time as that post gets answered and they give me the code. Right. So I went and had my lunch. Then I thought I'll check my email, and there's a nice email there from the Fiat forum with a link to the page with the code, and I've been given the code 4651. I've never had a code yet that doesn't work, so let's give it a try. Turn it on. Code 4651. Yay! There it is. It's working. Now, Bluetooth. Phone.
Searching for connection.
Yeah, that works
Try
okay.
again later.
So this obviously wasn't.
A career where you learn new skills.
This obviously wasn't a pop one. I thought it was. So that's good. So just turn that down.
Where every shift brings new challenges.
So we have done it. We have put one that I luckily already had with the faceplate with the new. Now, we don't know now whether the existing one that was there actually works or not. I think we can assume that it probably did. So I'm going to keep that. It's going to be this one that's going to be faulty, isn't it? But, again, I'll keep this as well. On the off chance, we don't know what's going to happen. And I'm not going to throw this away because, oh, there's a disc in this. Oh, bugger. I've lost, I think it's only a Dell disc. I've got enough of Dell CDs. None of them I bought, I have to say. The ones that a lot of people who drive Fiat 500s like a Dell. Right, so that's another job done. We do have a flashing mileage now, because of course it will need a proxy alignment because it's looking for the stereo that was in it before. Once we do a proxy alignment, that will stop. But we're not worried about that at the moment. As you can hear and probably see, it's piddling with rain, and it has been ever since I went in for my lunch. So I can't really do any more until it stops. So, you may have seen me struggling with that door handle. The door handle that came with the car, which was quite clearly an aftermarket cheapo one, and they don't fit. They never fit. It's always the passenger side, and I don't know why. It goes in at the top, but then you can't get the bottom bit in, the little gate shape. So luckily I had this one. I always buy, for the passenger side, I always buy second-hand originals. Driver side is fine. I don't know why. It's really strange, but yeah. So that's on. So stereo's in and working. That is on. Mirror's on. It is a bit scratched, but that'll need touching up. The nipple underneath here is the temperature sensor, as you probably know, and the mirror I took off of it, which is an awful mirror. It's just got a hole there. So God knows what's gone on with this. I might be able to use this at some point. It's got glass, it's got a crappy cover that doesn't really fit very well, or it's just not been put on. Probably an aftermarket cover that don't fit either. I don't think that's original glass even. Yeah, that's probably an aftermarket as well. But I'll keep it. I'm not going to throw it away. I'll keep it. So, yeah, I was going to do the bumper, but we're running out of time now. Time's getting on. And I want to get that bumper off, have a look underneath and see if we can plastic weld. Because I don't know what I'm going to do if I can't do that. If I can't plastic weld those tabs on, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Both sides as well, innit? Because I can't chuck the bumper away for that. I mean, here we can see that those ones are okay. It's just that one. So whether I can get away with that, this side might be the same. This side, although it might be the other way around on this one. That's still attached there. You can see it's still attached. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But we get the bumper off, make sure there's nothing damaged behind it. Aircon works. I tested the aircon when I was on the way back earlier on, so I know that works. So that's a saving. Still quite a lot of work to do on this car, even though it's not, dent wise, bodywork wise, there's not much to do. I know we got that down there, which shouldn't prove too much trouble. Needs a damn good clean. And the inside, I'm going to, tomorrow, depending on the weather, I'm going to get the seats out. A lot of dog hairs in here. Got to get those dog hairs cleaned up. I use the old, I've forgotten what it's called now. Whatever it is, that brush that I've got, which is good. Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get that nice and clean by the end of the day tomorrow, depending on the weather. It's been crap again today. It's warm, but we had lots of rain, so not good. Better already. Only done the one side, obviously. I'll take the seat out tomorrow, but yeah, much better already. So we'll get all these seats out tomorrow. Get that one out, get that one out, do the inside. It does all depend on the weather, because I've got to get them dry, of course, but yeah, pleased with that. This is the sort of thing we're dealing with here. The other side was actually worse. Check that out. Look at that. That is just pure and utter filth. It makes you wonder what these people's houses are like, doesn't it? They're estate agents as well, advising people on how to present their houses for sale. Look at it. They're disgusting. That is horrendous. Oh, we got an interdental toothpick there as well. That's nice. So I did this side yesterday. It barely even needs a proper clean now. I hoovered it, and then down there was lots of coffee or something. There still is a bit there, but I used the old elbow grease. And over here, I mean, look, compare that side to that side. If you can see it. It's, yeah. So I'm just going to hoover this up. I've got a load of coins out of there. They're soaking in a dilution of... Can you hear that whistling? It's very annoying. A dilution of G101 to strip, because all that black gunk, which is probably coffee or something, was all over it, and I had to prise them up with a screwdriver, and they're all soaking. So I'm going to put some 101 in there as well and give that a good clean up. So I'm going to clean the seats first, and then we'll come back and we'll do this, because I want to give the seats a chance to dry. It is it's only just after 9 o'clock in the morning, so I've got all day. At the moment we've got a bit of sun and blue sky, but it's meant to be cloudy all day today, so at the moment, the longer we can get the sun on it, the better. So let's do it. I'm not going to bother filming it on this occasion. We'll just get on with it and do it. Right, as you can see, the seats are drying off nicely. Still wet at the bottom there, but they've been out here less than an hour, I'd say. That one looks dry. That was the first one I did, so it's almost dry, that one. Yeah, and the rear seat pad is drying off nicely, and we've just done this, which is pretty dry already. Let me show you the inside of the car. Whew. Right, that's drying off. Carpet is lovely and clean. Still a few little hairs, which we'll go over once it's dry. We'll go over with some parcel tape, but I got most of them off. But that side's nice and clean as well. Cleaned all in the middle there, got all that brown gunk out from in there, which was probably coffee. So yeah, that's good. It's taken a long time. It's one of the most thorough cleans I think I've done, due to the amount of crap and dog hair that was in there. But yeah, looking good now. So once those seats are dried off, we'll get them back in. Right. Thankfully we had a decent day of weather today, and the seats are all dry, so they're all back in. Yeah, they're tiny little bit of moisture, but nothing much. So the only thing I've got left to clean is that in there. I've done that, and I've got to do around there and that bit. That's the only bits I've got left to clean. And that door card as well, that's a bit dirty, but I think that's just where it was oversprayed. Actually no, I don't think I've cleaned that at all, so that's dirty as well. So interior wise, it's pretty much there now. I just had to get that done. Normally I leave this not right to the very end. I mean, it will have another clean obviously once I've finished it, but Normally I leave the seats and all that till later on, but I just wanted to get, they were so rotten. I needed to get them done. So that's that. That's one job out of the way that I haven't got to do at a later date. So I think the next thing we're going to do will be, I'm contemplating, you know, the closer I look at this bonnet, I can see the orange peel. This is, I think this has been amateur sprayed, and it's obviously not been primed very well, or it's just a shit bonnet. But I think I'm going to take the bonnet off. I'm going to rub all these rust spots down, prime them, and then I'm going to rub the entire bonnet down. And I think I'm going to get some paint and take a chance, because it is quite light. It is light compared to the wing, so I think I'm going to paint the whole thing and hope it matches. Take a chance. If it's not, actually when I come around here it looks alright. Maybe this wing was put on at the same time because it was this side, so actually yeah, that chances are that wing was painted at the same time as the bonnet, so they may have even gone into the door, because the door looks okay as well. But we've got to get to the bottom of what that clunk was. As I say, the chances are it might be the exhaust, so I couldn't tell where it was coming from. But so I think, yeah, next time you see this car, which will be for you, will be in a minute. For me, it will be sometime next week, I think. We will get the bonnet, get the bumper off, inspect everything underneath, see if we can fix those things. Whilst we've got that off, we'll get the wheels off. We'll have a look at the brakes. We'll have a look at the bottom arm. We'll have a look at the suspension. Because if I end up having to bond some of this, I don't want to then be taking it off. Hopefully I won't need to do that, but obviously I don't want to do that and then find out it needs one and have to take it off and break it all again. If I could get one in colour, I'd get one. But I'm not going to throw away a perfectly good bumper just because of 2 tabs. No way. So yeah, we'll be back next week, so I'll see you then. Morning, welcome back. So what you've just seen was approximately 3 or 4 weeks ago. After having brought this car back from my sister-in-law's, I did what you've just seen in the video. I then took it back again, and because I was still working on another car, which I'd got since this one, which was the blue one, which of course you know is all done, dusted and gone. That was a blue colour therapy. It went back on the back burner again. Now this is bought specifically in this colour because somebody wants it, as you know. So I need to get on with it. I messaged her, well actually I was about to message her on last weekend, last Friday I think it was, and 5 minutes before I thought, oh, I must send her a message. She sent me a message saying, any news? This is what I keep getting now, people keep messaging me. So I said to her, I'm getting the car back Saturday, which was Saturday just gone, haven't touched it yet, but I'm going to make a start on it, carry on with it next week. And I will let her know by the end of Friday, which is today, where we are with it. So I was looking back at the service and that last night because I couldn't remember, and we got a couple of service invoices, one from 2020 I think, and one from 21, I can't remember now, top of my head. One of them, if you remember, it said investigate suspension, bottom arm, blah blah blah. Now it didn't say what they replaced, but they had a bill for £240. There was no parts listed on it at all, so I don't know whether they've just not listed the parts. So I need to get a proper look in there, compare that side with that side. I need to look at the brakes anyway, because last couple of MOTs I think it was, it mentioned that the brake pads are low. No mention of the discs, so hopefully I won't have to do the discs. But assuming those brake pads have not been done, we need to do those today. Before I do that, what I want to do is get the bumper off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack it up, get it up on stands, get the bumper off, get the wheels off, see what we can do with this bumper. I've been looking, ever since I got this car, I've been looking on eBay for bumpers in colour, and there aren't any. Same applies to the bonnet, because you know what the state of this bonnet is. Now I have found a car in Romford, Essex, that is breaking a car in this colour. It had a split in the bumper down there, which could be fixed, because of course this is okay, it's just the tabs, which I may be able to fix. So I said to the bloke, is the bumper and the bonnet available? He came back, he said, yeah, 100 quid for the bonnet and 150 quid for the bumper. Now I thought, if that bumper was £100, I might have it. But £150 for a bumper I've got to repair and do some paint on, I'd rather try and get this one done. So £100 for a bonnet's fine. Let's hope it matches, of course, but I have got paint, and if I have to repaint this one, I'm prepared to do it. I've just obviously got the wheels off. Haven't put a stand under this one yet. I just wanted to show you. So the disc is a bit crusty at the top, as they often are, but there's a very, very tiny lip on this one, nothing much. But the pads are new-ish, virtually new. Both sides are the same. As far as the suspension's concerned, on this one, I'm just looking at the colour. Or, I mean, I've looked at the bushes. The bushes all seem okay. Looking at the colour of that, it's sort of, you know, a few rust spots on it, very grey, as they go, you know, with age. And on this side, it just looks different. It looks newer. So I think that this has been replaced. Don't think they've done that. But I reckon they've replaced that, because that is definitely not as old. Whether it was a new one, I mean, this was a couple of years ago, so obviously it's done mileage since then. But that is definitely not as old as the one on the other side, absolutely. So, that knocking, I don't know, that knocking seemed to disappear. I don't know whether it was just because the car had been sitting around for heaven knows how long, I don't know. But when I drove it back from my sister-in-law's, it wasn't doing it. So I think I need to drive it around a little bit before I start changing anything else. I was prepared to change the entire leg, but obviously I'm not going to do that if I don't need to, because the problem is it's obviously had a hit on this corner in the past when it was a Cat D, I think it was, previously. But of course we don't know what's been changed. Definitely that's been changed, without a doubt that has been changed, that bottom arm. But we don't know whether anything else. As I say, that invoice, they were charged £240. Part of that will obviously presumably for the investigation as to what the issue was. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Yes, I think that was 2021 that was done. So you know, that's potentially been in there for 2 years anyway. So it's going to have weathered a bit, but obviously more than which is what is probably the original. So I'm not going to do anything with suspension at the moment. I'm going to, once I've got it. I mean, obviously, if anything is untoward that I can't see that makes it fail the MOT, then obviously we'll do that. But I can't really see anything wrong with it. And it drives fine. Drives absolutely perfect. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it for the time being. I'm going to clean up all the brake area. Just give it a brush and what have you. I've got to clean the wheels anyway with the old acid wheel cleaner. But yeah, let's get this bumper off. Well, that was the easiest bumper removal ever. There was only one screw in the arch line of that. Well, no, there was two, but that one wasn't actually doing anything. So I took one screw out that side, not one in the bottom, which is not unusual. 2 screws in that one. Both of these bolts. Actually, is that one there? No. Yeah. Yeah. Hang on, I can't see. What is it? No, there isn't. There's a screw in it. Someone's put a Phillips screw in it, God's sake. That's not lined up. That's done up. Not very well. I think that's had a new wing, hasn't it? That's not the original wing. There was no bolts in the bottom at all. The top ones were in very tight, so I did put some WD in there. I took the first one out, and there was fear of it snapping, so I put WD in the top ones, and they've come out fine. No foam on there. Now I have had that before with no foam. I'm not sure whether I've got one or not. I'll have to have a look. If not, I'll have to see if I can get one. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you don't put them on, but Hopefully I've got one knocking around in the back of the garage. I don't think I've got any up in the loft, but I might have one in the back of the garage somewhere. So I'll have a look. But we got headlight lug broken there. I think it's only that one. So we'll either plastic weld that, or if I've got a kit, I'll for that side I'll put one on, a replacement one. I think they're okay this side. No, that one's gone as well. That one's broken as well. So I might plastic weld them actually. Seeing as both bits are there, and it's a clean break by the looks of it. So these are obviously, whatever the accident was in the past when it was a Cat D, they've obviously just bunged those back in and not bothered, or maybe not even taken them out. I suppose they would have had to take them out to do the wing, but they're just not bothered repairing them, I imagine. I mean, I suppose there is the possibility that this was clunked again after it was repaired, which is why I can't believe that someone repaired it and that bumper was hanging out like that. So there is part of the bumper on there still, so that might prove a problem. But on this side, the only bit we've got missing is this, which is at the front, which is a bit of a pain. But this is okay, as I say, no bolt in it. That's hanging off, so that needs gluing back on. That's not a problem, can do that. Which is why that light was sticking out. I think this side's all right. Yeah, that side's fine. And this here has got quite a bit missing, but we got the front of it, the back of it being on the car still. So whether I can plastic weld that back on or not, and whether it will be good enough, I don't know. Right, let's show you what I've done. So I've given that a bit of a clean up. I got that bolt out, no problem. I put some WD on it, but it even looked like a fairly new bolt, but the bumper hadn't been put into it for some reason. Who knows? On this side, this is, I think it's a bit of the bracket that's then been bonded on. The back of the bracket isn't even there. So they put that on, just glued it there, and just left it. This was really done by a Bodget and Scarpa. Right? It does make me wonder whether the person whose car it was did it themselves, because it's really been done badly. So yeah, that was just the end of it bonded on. So they've not even gone to the expense, the £7 expense. Although someone's painted this, isn't it? That's not someone who's just, I mean, I suppose it could have been a wing in colour. The bonnet's crap, as we know. The bumper's not fantastic, but it's passable. But yeah, I mean, why would you scrimp for the sake of £7? And I know that some of the tabs aren't particularly good. Which side is it? This side, isn't it? I know we've not got any tabs on the front, on the back rather, but we have on the front, so at the very least the front could be in. Is that split there? That's a little, I'll put some glue underneath there just to sort of hold it, but we have got at least some tabs. If I have to try and bond this in some way to keep the corner in, then I'll do that, but there's no point is that? I'm not sure what that is. Which way around did it go? I'm not quite sure where that was, probably there. But what a mess. Oh dear, this is going to make you laugh. So I had a call last weekend. I had a message last weekend from a fellow who bought Project Minty, which was my sister-in-law's car, the one I had the trouble with the bumper, with a really light bumper. Yeah, I had a call from him saying, I've got a problem with the car. He said, I wonder if you can help me out. He said, the lights on my Speedo are not working. He said that all the the dial's working and everything. He said, but at night, he said, I can't see how fast I'm going. He said, because the lights, the ambient, the backlight is not working and it's dark. He said, and I was driving home the other night from the cinema. He said, and someone was hooting me and shouting at me out the window and said, you need to turn your lights on. He said, and my front lights and my back lights weren't working. Can you have a look? And I said, oh, it sounds like it might be the hatch wiring. But yeah, I said, I'm off next Friday. If you want to bring it over, I'll have a look. I'll run diagnostics, have a look at fuses and so on. And I thought to myself, I looked at the fuse diagram and I thought, well, the two side lights are on separate fuses. The back lights are on separate fuses. The Speedo is on a separate fuse. And the Speedo's actually working, but none of the lights working. Well, it's a bit odd. Body computer. So he's just been. So he came along, I got my computer, plugged it in. Ran the diagnostics, no errors. Apart from there was an intermittent error on the fog light. Cleared that, turned the fog light on, and it was working. Got out of the car to have a look at the lights. DRLs were on, bright, went back into the car, turned the lights on, came back to the front of the car, lights are on. Went to the back of the car, lights are on. He hadn't switched them on. He's had the car for months. I hope he doesn't watch this. I don't think he watches the channel. Hopefully not. If you do, Joel, I apologise for laughing, but I think he knew I was amused. He's clearly been driving along at night. He said he doesn't use it much at night, but he said he's been driving it along. He said, I didn't know you had to switch the lights on. I mean, I know some cars are auto lights, Fiat 500s aren't. So whenever he has driven this car in the dark, which hasn't been much, but it obviously at some point he has, he's obviously been driving with no lights on, except for the DRLs. That's all I wanted to say. Just come in and tell you that. So he's gone off with his tail between his legs. So I said to him, you know, it's too bright today to see whether the actual lights on the speedo are working. We can't see it, but I'm sure they probably are. It's because the lights were off. But I said, you know, check tonight when it's dark, and if it's not, then obviously we'll have a revisit. But I think it's because he didn't have the lights on. So yeah, just wanted to pop in and tell you that. So we're getting on with this. Brakes are done. Brakes are done. I've serviced the brakes, cleaned them all up, got all the rust off around the discs, greased everything up with some copper grease to go ready for the wheels to go back on. Let me just show you. I super glued that back on. I don't know how sturdy it is, probably not, but I'm going to put some plastic weld down the inside of it as well. I mean, that's supposed to join there, which it's not going to because it's all bent, and if I pushed that in, that would just pop out there. So I'm going to leave that, but I'm just going to give it a go. Weld some plastic into there and see if that will help to hold it at all. As I had that bit, I took all the glue off of it, and I thought, as I've got that bit, I might as well, if I can get a bolt in that will grip just there, at least that will be a grip somewhere without this coming off. But I'm going to put some Tiger Seal in there as well, I think, just to give it half a chance. But you never know, it might be all right. But yeah, I'm still leaving this for a little bit longer. But so headlights are done, they can go back in there. I'm just going to snip off the bits and clean them up, and then we'll put those back in. And I'm just going to put a new bracket on the wing. Okay, so I have done everything I need to do at the front, I think. The only other thing I've got to do is see if I've got one of these. If not, I'm going to leave it off for the time being because I want to get the bumper on, because as I say, MOT next week, and I can always put it on afterwards if I can find one. But I'm going to have a quick look in the back of the garage, see if I can find it. But yeah, I'm going to set you up on a tripod and we will see. I'll probably speed it up. I've put a new bracket on there. I'm going to squirt some washing up liquid in on both and see if we can slip those in. I've put some plastic in there. Hopefully that plastic won't get in the way. So that is relatively stable on there. Whether it was any point or not, I don't know. But what I'm hoping is if I can get a washer and a nut just gripped enough on there, it'll be enough for it to hold it. That's what I'm hoping. We will see. That's all gone off now over there, so it's ready to put on, really. Yeah, let's just see if I can find a foam bit, and then we'll get it on. Right, we'll get some squirtiness in there. I'll tell you what I'm going to do actually. I am going to heat up. Actually, that looks... I'm going to heat that up and just bend that back a little bit because they're always a bit tight when they're new. So I'm just going to grab the heat gun and do that. Right, I'm just going to warm them up a little bit and then get a screwdriver in there. Where's my chunky screwdriver? And just bend them down slightly because, as I say, they're always a little bit too tight. I don't think these are originals, so they're aftermarket ones, and the originals are better, obviously, but a lot more expensive. This one more than any. just want to make them a little bit more pliable. That'll do. Obviously that's going to cool them down again by spraying that, but I think the other one's okay. Oh, you can see the smoke coming off of it, but it's bent it down a little bit. That's the main thing. That one's okay. Right, let's try it. Fingers crossed. What we'll do is we'll hang it off one screw at the side. And we'll see how it slots in. That one seems to have gone in all right. Sticking out a little bit there, but not a lot, not a lot. This is the one. This is the tester. Don't want to hit it too hard. Ooh. No, it's not good, is it? No, there's a dirty, great big gap there. Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. Why is that then? Why is that? Because that one was not damaged. I don't know why that's not going over there. Let's heat that up a bit more. It's like it needs to push on more than it actually is. Oh yeah, that's not good. That is not good at all. This side we could probably get away with, this end, but that is just awful. Ah, damn it, I don't know what I can do about that. I really don't know what I can do about that. So I thought I'd take the light off and try it, and it's just the same. So I've put this bumper on, and as you can see, it's absolutely fine. So I don't quite know what I can do. And I don't really know why it's like it. Don't think it's anything to do with this piece. It's like this piece is too high or something. I don't know. But I can't use that with it like that. That noise you can hear is rain. I've got all my washing out. I've got blue sky up there. Bloody raining. It's supposed to be a nice day today. I don't know what I'm going to do now. Yep, look at that, perfect fit. Absolutely perfect fit, both sides. Yeah. So I'm not going to be able to use that bumper. You know, if I can paint this and match the colour properly, this bumper, this car, with a new bonnet on it as well, will be good. Because with that one, it does look like a budget and scarper. It really does. And there's not an awful lot more I could do about that. So what I might as well do with that one is take everything off of it, apart from the badge, which is cracked. Take everything off of it, sell it as it is. Someone will buy it. Someone, without a doubt, someone will buy it. And someone who, you know, does this for a living, really, might be able to sort that out. I don't quite know what to do. I mean, I could heat it up and move it around, but I mean, I've done my best with it. It's mullered, isn't it? If it wasn't for that, so I just don't understand why that's not going in. Doesn't make sense, unless the bumper's misshapen somehow. I don't know. I really don't know. It's a mystery. But it's got to be right. It's got to be as good as I can get it. So I don't know what's happened to the DPD man. I had a message saying DPD will be with me in 30 minutes, 10 minutes ago, and then he just went past and delivered to somebody else. So I must be a different number on his route. It's stopped raining now, so it's supposed to be really nice this afternoon. So I think what I'll do is I'll get this. I've ordered some Scotch cloths as well from Alison at Paints for You. So I'm going to get this afternoon, scotch it, and I'll see if I can get it painted and lacquered this afternoon if I can, and then tomorrow I can polish it and put it on. So I am going to end this video here. You've seen what that bumper looks like. It fits perfectly, so we're going to paint it. So I'm going to park the car up for the time being, and we've got a little bit of time left in the day, and the sun has come out as well. So I am going to paint that bumper, see if we can get it painted today, and then that'll all be in the next video. You might be able to hear that going, it's because the air conditioning's going on the car. So yeah, so that's it for the time being. We'll come back, the painting of the bumper will be in the next video, and hopefully this car will look the part, and we'll get that bonnet from Romford next week, and then it will be plain sailing from there, and it will be virtually done. So thanks for watching. As always, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.